Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the field. Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown. Let's go.
Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. Welcome to the Philly Shakedown post game, where we're not just talking about winning, we're talking about being 5-0 and the Dallas Cowboys getting destroyed, and I can't help but put the two together. Joey Shakes, what is happening, my man? How are you doing?
I'm feeling pretty good right now. I think we had a pretty good weekend, don't you say?
I would say so. I think we had about one of the best weekends we could actually have.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, maybe making a couple babies here and there make it better.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's for later. Yes, we had a great weekend.
Yeah.
What is going on, everybody? The brother that screwed them is here. Anthony's here. Jaden, Chris Rodriguez, my basement MMA Empire. So many guys in here. Jason, Vashan. I don't know if I said that right. Q. Come on, you doing, cats? They're messing with my cords. Eagles Nation, Jameson Smith, Joseph, Demaine, everybody. I'm sorry, Keith Saunders here. A lot of people here. Thank you so much for being here. Anthony, welcome to Dingbat Nation. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And yeah, what a day, what a game. And I mean, dude, we have so much to talk about, because I feel like, if this is just me, but if you look at our post or pregame yesterday, I think, dude, what we talked about was like spot on. It was spot on. What happened or what transpired. Devontae Jones, thank you for super chat. Joey's sitting there nodding his head and looking devious. Joey's looking devious. It's a good night.
Not for the wrong reasons.
Not for the wrong reasons. Cole's Cowboy. Oh, boo-hoo. Oh, my Dak Prescott's so good. He stinks. Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you for being here. Johnny be good. Says Mark Holmes just kicked me out. I told him Philly 500 was his daddy. Beautiful. We're going to torture Mark all week. But as far as this game, let's talk about the Eagles game, because I know we'll probably talk about the Cowboys game at some point. But what are your overall thoughts about the game? I don't even know where to start, because to me, like, I thought, especially, I thought like what we talked. I felt like what we talked about defensively and spent a lot of time on.
Yeah.
Really was exactly what happened between the first and second half, man. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought, like, even when we went to, even like the first series that we had, I think that was the best series we had. I think the Tampa Bay first series was good. I thought this series was good, and especially getting Dallas Goedert involved, which was big. So you're not putting too much on both of your, on too much on AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith didn't really have a big game at all. I mean, wasn't his day. We said that this was going to be an AJ Brown day, with 127 yards on 8 receptions. I think that it was, and it was great. I think there's some things that, like I said, like, there's always things to clean up. I think there is some things to clean up. I think there were some bad choices on third down, depending on the play. The Quez Watkins, Quez Watkins had a, I thought Hurts missed a few opportunities with some wide open guys in this game. So I feel like even on the defensive side of the ball, I thought they played better in the second half. I thought, we know how they play scheme wise defensively. Even the first time we got on defense, they were just allowing nonstop slants, like the whole entire way going up. They were switching the nickel spot. They were rotating guys nonstop. It's just like from Goodrich to Eli Ricks. I mean, they really want to keep Bradbury on the outside for this game. They really weren't shadowing the number one guy at, not too much. But I think in the second half, we started to get pressure a little bit on Matt Stafford, and we really started to roll a little bit. Red zone's still a mess right now. it's a big mess right now. I think it's pretty bad. They really have to shore up the red zone because it's they're doing the same thing of what they normally have done. They have taken as soon as they get in the red zone, they take Gainwell out. They take Swift out. They put Gainwell in, and they run with Hurts. They 2 QB design runs in the fourth quarter. I mean, they're using Hurts way too much. Like, you got to use what's around you. And I feel like there's just a lot of missed opportunity. I think we left 2 touchdowns and a field goal off the board.
Yeah.
This game.
Yeah. Jared, David Super Chat says, Joey, why is my wife still cleaning under your desk? Send her to me. My kids haven't had dinner.
Fucking God,
it just won't
end. I hate you.
Rigo, I know. I started all this crap. Rigo, David Super Chat goes, on my way back home from the game, we took over that stadium. Yeah, shout out to the Eagle fans because clearly you could tell that they took over that stadium, and when you look at the first half, I thought the offense moved the ball overall pretty good. I loved getting Dallas Goedert involved early. AJ Brown was big. I thought DeAndre Swift was running the ball pretty well, but I thought they did a pretty good job, up the middle running the ball. But defensively was very frustrating because all the things that we said was exactly what they were doing. Quick passes. You're going to go take the yards that give you with those quick slants and then get the yards after the catch. And they were killing us. And I thought that first half was a lot like the season has been kind of, where the offense looks like it's starting to get going. The defense is still doing the same things. But, at the end of the half, to score that touchdown, in that final 32 seconds, I felt like that changed the whole game. And then in the second half, to start the second half, the Jalen Carter sack on Stafford was violent. I think he hit Stafford so hard. I think Stafford was rattled the rest of the game. I don't think he ever was the same after that hit, in my opinion.
I think he slammed his head to the ground. I mean, I think he had like a little bit of a face mask on that, which I think he had a little bit of a face mask on that. He might have
got away with it a little bit.
Got away with it, yeah.
But that's okay because there was a face mask call that they got away with.
Check out if you watch tape tonight. Check out because Reddick had 2 back-to-back sacks today, just fantastic in the end of the fourth quarter. So absolutely. Check out I don't know if it was the first one of those 2 sacks. Check out what Jalen Carter did on that play. He knocked 2 offensive linemen down. I mean, he's
a monster.
It's crazy.
He is a monster. The sack he had, he threw that offensive lineman, and then he slammed Stafford, and Stafford got up like this, like, oh, shit, like, dude, that guy just hurt me. And I don't think Stafford was the same at the end, but the defense made adjustments that we talked about in the second half. They started playing up a little more man, and they didn't do anything the rest of the day. And really, Stafford, because of the hits, because he had to hold the ball a little longer, he took a couple shots deep. He was overthrowing guys.
Oh, yeah.
He was totally, completely out of rhythm because they did exactly what they said. They were playing up. They were forcing him to hold the ball longer, and the defensive pressure was getting to him. And that's how you beat Stafford. The Eagles, they could play defense like that in the second half every week. They gave up no points in the second half.
Yeah, shut down.
None. They gave up any. I thought they were fantastic.
Yeah.
Anthony, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, what do you think about the quarters playing so far back? I can't stand it in the second, third short yard situations. We hate it. I mean, we've talked about that. We spent 25 minutes on this yesterday, kind of arguing with some people in here about that. And they did it in the first half, but they kind of didn't do it in the second half. And the plays became where they needed to go over the top to Cup, and he overthrew him. Then he overthrew the Atwater guy on a slant that was scored. And that was because he had to hold the ball and the pressure was getting to him. So they made the proper adjustments in the second half. You can take that second half defense. You can play like that 4 quarters. I don't think many people are going to beat you.
I mean, look, I feel like even with the secondary too, I seen, Bradbury got burned. I know Bradbury got burned. I don't know if those 2 plays on that same series when Slay had more separation, obviously, for Cooper Kupp. He got burned on a play, and people were making a big deal out of it. Like, these guys, it's going to happen. It's going to happen in these games. But I thought Roby in the second half, they kind of kept him in a little bit longer. He was getting, into rhythm a little bit. They kept him in just a little. I think on one series he had a couple good coverages. So I mean, they were switching
really well.
Yeah, they were switching a lot of guys at nickel. I don't know, like you can't do a full rotation the whole entire game, or they just seemed like they were just, I don't know what they were doing, like where they didn't have much faith in Roby for the game, or what.
I feel like I feel like when Roby came in, he kind of settled the secondary down a little bit. Just the feel I got, like, because you had a veteran presence in there. I thought he did a great job. I really liked the way Roby played.
Yeah.
ASMR of everything. Remember, for 12 months, he goes, "What up, boys? Team is scary, good, 5-0." Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a team that hasn't even played their best yet. I mean, they haven't even played their best, and they're doing this. They're so much better than these teams. Talia77, thank you for the super chat. He goes, "These Georgia players and Eagles drafted have been coming up in clutch so far. I got one of the shirts on the way. Crisp collar commercial. Very cool. Very cool." Hey, listen, I got to say this. I thought Jordan Davis had a great game, too. I thought he was very solid. He didn't get pressures towards the quarterback, but I thought in terms of what he was doing by taking on the blocks he was taking on, I thought the run defense, he was in there, a couple screen passes, had nowhere to go. I thought he was pretty good, too. I really liked the way they played. And I thought Josh Sweat played really good. And, of course, Hassan Reddick, did what he did. Which was be the finisher,
Yeah, I think there was definitely a heartbeat missing from the defensive line with Fletcher Cox not being there. I think there definitely was. Milton Williams getting. I think he definitely had more reps in this game, no doubt. And he's not the best pass rusher on our team. He's more of a good rotational guy where he's in a full rotation. But I thought he did pretty good. I know they moved Brandon Graham to the inside a couple times. They were moving him inside to get somewhat of a pass rush.
And we talked about that exactly.
Yeah,
we said that was going to happen. Yeah.
So it really did work, and I think Kupp only had like 100 yards by like the middle of the third quarter. So like I thought they did a good. They definitely
and he had 95 in the first half.
Yeah, that's a good day. I mean, that's a good day. That means the Eagles have it. They did adjust in that second half, got more aggressive, and like I said, they didn't move back too much. They played a little bit forward.
They played forward. They played more aggressive. I think they played a little more man. I really want to go back and watch it because when you stream, you miss so much, but. But man, I mean, I really think that Jalen Carter hit, I just think it shell shocked Stafford because Stafford's one of those guys that if you hit him early, I think you screw him up. But when he's in the rhythm and he's not hit, he's deadly. He's deadly. Mm-hmm. And I think that hit because he got up like, dude, this guy hurt me. I really felt like that. Julio Davis super chat. He goes, "I know it was a small sample size, but what do you guys think about Eli Ricks?" I like Eli Ricks. I mean, there was a play where he was going up against Cooper Kupp in the slot. I mean, Cooper Kupp's one of the best receivers in the league. Jared Davis super chat goes, "Rather play up and risk defensive backs getting burnt if it means pressure will get home instead of dying at death by 1,000 cuts and soft coverage." I agree, and I think there are times where you gotta pick your poison with that. But I agree for the most part. And it paid off today because of the pressure. Stafford was off on some of those deeper throws. And he missed them. He had Kupp open. He had the other guy open. But he was so worried about the pressure, he overthrew it. Anthony Davis super chat. He goes, "I missed the Jim Johnson days. I feel like Bradbury and Slay should play more bump and run coverage to help out the defensive line. Am I wrong?" No, we agree with you. I mean, we that's what we talked about yesterday. We wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see the adjustments that would be made. I thought they did it in the second half. Not in the first half. It was pretty much the same thing we've gotten. But second half, the defense came up. I mean, defense didn't give up any points. You think about how easy the Rams went down the field in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
You get shut down that way happens because they made good adjustments, and that's the matter.
Yeah, I think they almost had a pick with Nicholas Morrow. Almost had a pick this game. He dropped it, and then
Nicholas Morrow. I went off
the forced fumble from Jalen Carter. That shit was like there was like 4 Eagles around that ball. Nicholas Morrow.
I went off of Morrow. He got to catch the first interception right to his head. He comes back in the fumble, and he had the fumble. Guys, butterfingers, man.
It's true.
Guppy, welcome to Dingbat Nation. Thank you so much for joining. But I thought he was. I thought Morrow was good. I thought Cunningham was good. I really like. I can't say anything bad about the defense. You know, in the second half, I thought the second half they played really good. I think that the way the Eagles scored a touchdown at the end of the half took a lot of steam out of the Rams. But I think when Jalen Carter just destroyed Stafford, I don't believe Stafford was the same the rest of the game.
No, he slammed him. I mean, he could have been. Who knows? He could have had a minor. He could have been a little sidelined a little bit.
Oh
so.
yeah, that was one of those hits where you're thinking about that every time you're taking the snap the rest of the game. That's what we wanted, As far as like the red zone, I really believe this, that the red zone problems are because they take DeAndre Swift out of the game. I really believe it. They take him out of the game in the red zone, and there's just no threat at the running back position when he's out. I think it hurts you. I think that DeAndre Swift needs to be in there in the red zone. I do.
Because it opens up your offense. I mean, using him as a wide receiver today and really like kind of put him out there, it was great. I'm glad they're doing it more and more each week. If Gainwell's in and you have, if you have him out there, that's, Swift out there, that's perfectly fine. I think when it comes down to it, it really comes down to like the play choice, play recognition of what they're doing. Like, do they want to run the ball? I feel like they need to run the ball more. I feel like they get a little too pass happy down there. And I think they kind of do the cop-out play with these QB design, run plays too much with Jalen Hurts. I think so. It's like they can get down the field easily. Like AJ Brown. I mean, he was slinging it, and I felt like when they got into rhythm with the pass, they just kept passing, and sometimes it worked, and sometimes it didn't. But when you get pressured, you're just you're wasting a play, throwing the ball out of bounds. Like, run the ball, like and keep Swift in there. And I feel like they just want to rest him. Like, I feel like they want to give him the hard carries or get him like beginning to middle of the game type carries, and they want to give him a rest and let Gainwell kind of finish it because they're not even using Boston Scott now. So, and I think Penny was out with an illness. So,
but he's out. It doesn't even matter. He's out last week too. He's not dressing anyways. I agree. They want Swift between the 20s, and then they put Penny in. But I don't know why they look at Penny as a finisher because he can't finish shit as far as I'm concerned.
Start.
He can't. I mean, Swift has got to be in there in the red zone. He does. Jared, welcome to Dingbat Nation, buddy. Thank you for joining. Welcome to Dingbat Nation. Shout out to you. Guppy, thank you for super chat, my man. He goes, Joey Shakes just joined as a member.
Wait, what?
You had a member join.
Oh, Guppy, thank you for joining the camp, dude. Appreciate it so much, dude. Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Niners and Eagles beating each other's division rivals. Respect. Yeah. Today, the Niners and the Eagles helped each other out. We beat the Rams. They beat the Cowboys. And we're going to get into that. We're definitely going to get into that, after we, later on. I definitely want to talk about that Cowboys game and the NFC East. What did you think the deal was with Kelsey fired up on the sideline? I think that was something to do with the way the plays were coming in because they almost kept running out of the clock. Right? I mean, the play clock kept running down where they were using timeouts, but he was obviously frustrated.
Yeah, I heard it was. Yeah, I heard pretty much the same thing. It was the plays coming in. I don't know, and then I don't know if he was, maybe he didn't have enough time to make the calls. Maybe there was not much lead time when it came to getting the plays in, and then him making the calls at the line. It probably just took longer, which we got the delay of game or whatever. So I think it just had something to do with that. But I'm glad like Nick, is always on the sideline talking to Hurts. If Hurts messes up on the play, like what did you think of the? Do you think the one, the AJ Brown that they threw, that they just do you think they're forcing the ball to these receivers for PI calls? Do you think they forced that one to Devontae Smith when Quez was wide open? Do you think they force it sometimes?
What I think happened is, and I think this is a mistake. I think because obviously Devontae was frustrated. He was walking back and forth the sideline. He wasn't complaining, but he was just trying to walk it off. Then Nick Sirianni went over to him, talked to him, and then it was like they were trying to force Devontae Smith the ball. I think when you try to force guys the ball and it's not there, it screws everything up. Same thing happened week 2 with AJ Brown when he complained and then he wanted the ball. Sometimes it's just not your day, and there's only so many balls to go around. And it wasn't Devontae's day. I mean, Devontae had 7 catches the week before, so it wasn't like he's been non-existent. Mm-hmm. But How are you going to get Dallas Goedert has a big day? He's been waiting for the big day, and I thought that they tried to force feed Devontae Smith. They didn't need to do it, and they missed Quez Watkins open. Get over here.
Yeah,
So
true.
I just don't like when. And I don't think Devontae did anything wrong. He was just trying to walk it off.
Well,
he wasn't crying or anything like that, but they definitely tried to force feed him when you didn't need to do it.
I'm just saying, like the AJ Brown one, like I felt like there was an early down and they just like threw it up, but it wasn't like Hurts knows he threw that, and he didn't get pressured on that play. He threw it. He underthrew that. So like, I feel like he was trying to get a PI call on that or something. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Are you talking about the interception?
Yeah, too. Yeah.
I think I kind of think, and I want to look at it again, but I almost think that Jalen Hurts threw that on purpose because he wanted him to come back to it. And he didn't. But I have to watch it again. Otherwise it was just an underthrown ball.
Right.
But he really missed the Quez Watkins wide open in the end zone. And he threw it to Devontae, and the ball got batted. That play to me made me feel like they were looking for Devontae because he hadn't been involved in the game. And it was like, when it happens, you just got to let it be sometimes. Let this stuff come naturally. There was a play in the first half where Devontae was literally running down the sideline wide open for a touchdown. And Jalen Hurts threw underneath to Goddard. And if he pump fakes that and he just throws it, Devontae's going in for a score.
Right.
It just happens sometimes, and that's
true.
the way it is. But I don't, Devontae's not the kind of guy to bitch and yell and scream. He was frustrated, but he was walking back and forth, around the sideline, kind of just dealing with it. And then Nick Sirianni went over him because he knew he was probably frustrated. So I think that, when you try to force these guys sometimes, I think it backfires. I think it backfired when we did it with AJ Brown in week 2. And Devontae's probably going to have a big game versus the Jets. I think going up against, Sauce Gardner is going to go up against AJ Brown. And I think Devontae is set up for a big game. But
I believe it.
I hope they don't try to make too much of where's Devontae Smith this week, because I think it's so overblown. You've got so many weapons. Not everybody's going to catch 9 balls a game,
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people do that during the streams too. Like, why is Devontae Smith not getting the ball? It's like, dude, like these sometimes like they just don't have the matchup. Like sometimes they just don't have it. It's just there's so many weapons in this offense. Like I get it, but like I can't get it to everybody. Everyone's not gonna get over 100 yards in one game. It's just not gonna happen that way.
It's not gonna happen every game. And AJ Brown has been on he's been on a tear. He's hot right now. You gotta just let him go. Don't force feed anything. And I felt like that play to him in the corner of the end zone was a force feed, and they didn't need to do it because Quez was wide open for a touchdown. I think really if you're going to force feed anybody, force feed DeAndre Swift more, because I thought he started running really powerful, really strong, especially at the end of the game. And then all of a sudden they just take him out and Gainwell's in there. And I swear, I truly believe when Gainwell's in there, the offense stalls. I really believe it. James Madalena, a member for 6 months. Shout out to you. Thank you for your support. He goes, hey to you too, man. Hey to you too. Noah says Swift needs more carries. I thought Swift played really good today. I mean, he didn't have touchdowns or whatever, but man, some of the runs he made, dude.
What do you have, like 50-something yards? 50-something yards?
He made some great runs.
The Gainwell catch. What was it? The Gainwell catch when he went to the right side and broke 2 tackles for that first down. He did a pretty good job there. He played
thought
he physical.
Was done. I thought,
yeah,
he was
too.
I was like, yeah, that was great. Big Chris says that's a Goddard I want to see. Yeah, I agree. Joe says if the cameras are not in the sideline and the brain dead announcers don't harp on it, we'd never know. Please don't realize arguing between teammates has been going on forever. Winning, stops that. Yeah, it happens and it should happen. Like Kelsey was flipping out on the sideline and he was talking to Stoutland. I mean, it happens. I have no problem with it. But Devontae's not the guy to yell and scream. He just was pacing. You could tell he was frustrated. He was pacing, talking to himself kind of. And, it happens.
Right.
Devontae didn't have a lot of yards last week, but he still had 7 catches. I mean, that's a pretty good day. Eagles Army down at David Super Chat goes, hey, fellas, what a day. D is getting better. Offense is getting better. Just need to tidy up the red zone. By the way, imagine comparing Mozzie the Bus Smith to Jalen.
I'm gonna check his stats.
Animal Carter. Jalen Carter.
Let me check his stats. I'm gonna check his stats.
Smith is a quiet storm. He is. He's coming. Pause. Did you feel that Hurts was bothered after that awkward step when he ran? Yeah. Do you remember that one play where, because I thought Hurts got hurt, where he breaks like 2 tackles to get, it was like a 3rd down. He scrambles and he gets a 1st down, but it looked like he hyperextended his knee. It was just awkward. He seemed to be okay.
Yeah, I thought it was the ankle. Yeah. I thought it was the ankle, but I could be wrong. But I don't know.
But I think he was okay. We didn't hear anything about it. So I think that was, I think we were okay.
Mozzie has 1 solo tackle for the season.
He stinks. He stinks. Anthony Davis Super Chat goes, Quez Watkins on that wide receiver screen pass. Why is he running the outside away from the blockers? I feel like Zacchaeus should be a 3rd. Yeah, he was real hesitant. Like, he needs to hit that hole. He's like waiting, he's got to cut that up. He'd have 4 or 5 yards. That was really frustrating. I was surprised that they gave Quez Watkins that 3rd receiver job back so easily.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was,
I believe it. He got open, like he overthrew Quez on earlier in the game, and then he was open for that touchdown when they forced that ball to Devontae Smith in the end zone. He was open, like he would have had a pretty good game today.
Everybody said he would have dropped it.
Yeah, I know. I
dropped it. I'm like, I don't know. We got over 1,000 people in the chat, by the way, on both channels. Thank you so much. If you're new, hit the like. Make sure you subscribe. And click on the link on my channel. Go sub up my man Joey Shakes here. The Philly Shakedown podcast, celebrating 5-0, celebrating 2-game lead in the NFC East. Doesn't get much better than that. James, thank you, man. Let's see if these game better. Yep, I read that one. Trying to catch up. See, David Super Chickens. Mark Holmes is still eating cake. Yeah, Mark started pigging out when Dallas was getting crushed. We'll get into that. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, dude. I think this was their best game. I thought the second half was the best football they played all around. All season. They didn't allow any points. They dominated time of possession. They wore out the Rams. And shout out to Sua Opeta. I mean, we got to give him credit at right guard, dude. I thought he was fantastic today, Sua Opeta. Dude, Donald didn't do anything again. No sacks again. So Sua Opeta.
Nothing.
What a great thing for him,
Yeah, I mean, they can play both guard spots really well. And, having the help of Kelsey and Lane definitely helped. I know there were sometimes they helped a little bit, kind of pushed them a little bit. But no, it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Yeah. Nitro Freaks, thank you for the super chat, my man. He goes, we really haven't played well. That's what's funny. It's what's really, it's what's so interesting because Nitro, you were in my chat earlier talking about, any given Sunday. It is. And when you can put back to back wins and you're not playing your best, I think that's a great sign. I mean, This team will peak at some point. It will start playing really good football. And when it does, they're very, very scary. They're very scary. I mean, clearly, this is a two-team conference. You have 2 really good teams in the Niners and the Eagles, and it's going to be a battle between those two. It really is.
I believe it.
I
believe it.
And thank you for super chat, Nitro. Rashad, thank you for super chat. He goes, good night, guys. I got to go get up to watch Skip cry. Yes, yes, I'm sure. Thank you for the super chat. Anthony David Super Chat goes, did you see Kelsey and Stoutland on the sideline? Yeah, we were just talking about that. They went at it, and that's, that's the way it has to be sometimes. But I don't think that, I think, the cameras and stuff, they want to act like that's more abnormal than it is. And it's a bigger deal. And I don't think that it is.
Happens every game. It happens every single game around the league. Always happens.
Yeah, yeah. And what'd you think of the way it ended with Hassan Reddick, man? 2 straight sacks.
It's nice. Like we've always talked about. I mean, we've almost talked about him all the time. Like he's very streaky with his numbers, and obviously he had that cast on, so he was only limited with one hand so much. So to get 2 back to back was just a great feeling, man. Just to end it, on a good note.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
good.
it was great. It was great. Ryan Davis, Super Chickens, what do you think about Smith having 1 reception? I just, we even talked about that. I just think sometimes with the amount of talent that you have, it's not everybody's night. It's not going to work out that way where everybody's going to have 7 catches, 100 yards, a touchdown. It doesn't happen. Last week, Devontae Smith had 7 catches. He didn't get a lot of yards, but he still had 7 catches. Pretty productive day. I think what I don't like is that when the Eagles knew that they need to get him more involved, I felt like forced it to him. I think sometimes these guys just got to understand. Sometimes you're not going to get your name called. Next week they may throw 12 times to Devontae Smith. That's the way it is, Devontae Smith handles it much better, than I think AJ Brown. But I think it'll be okay, Ryan. And thank you, Ryan, for the super chat. As I said, glad Devontae isn't Odell. He needs more catches. Yeah, he's not Odell, and he knows. I mean, listen, week 2, it was all about AJ Brown flipping out, right? Devontae doesn't flip out; he just paces. But it's the same thing. The coaches recognize it. They try to get him involved, and I think sometimes it's just not his day. L, thank you for super chat. Because I was at the game, Philly. It was amazing. Nonstop Eagle chants throughout the game. It was Green Sea in LA. Love your screens, Philly. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it looked like I could hear, like I had the sound in the game on. All I heard was Eagle chants. It was great. It was crazy. Joe says, that's what champions do. Win ugly, win pretty, just win. Stats are for nut jobs who love that stuff. 5-0 doesn't get any better. Agreed. Yeah, I thought second half was the Eagles' best game, man. I did. I thought besides that interception that Hurts threw, I thought Hurts had a great game. You know what else I liked about Hurts? He didn't seem indecisive running. Did he not look so much faster? And he made the decision to go, and and he looked much more like Jalen Hurts than we've seen, because I don't think he was worrying about all that. I think that they've got it so much in his brain that he's indecisive sometimes, Yeah,
I agree. Totally agree.
Yep. My basement says, yeah, exactly. Devontae Smith will say we won, and that's what matters. Next week, his number can call 10 times. Yeah. I mean, next week you got Sauce Gardner. So, what are the chances they want Sauce Gardner on A.J. Brown? Well, if he's on A.J. Brown, guess what? Devontae Smith is going to have opportunities.
Big day.
He had an opportunity. I'm telling you, there was a play where he was wide open for a touchdown. They didn't see him that time, and it just happens sometimes. Nathaniel, thank you for the super chat. Not much for football. Got love for Philly sports teams. Nonetheless, being a Nova Flyer fan and Philly fan, keep up the great work. Ready for 12-3 game. Yes. Thank you so much, my man. And shout out to the Phillies.
Hell yeah.
Game tomorrow. Sean Davis, thank you for super chat. Goes, I need San Fran minus 3.5 and over 45 total to complete my 6-leg parlay. Won $2,000.
Good for you.
$30 wager. Good for you, man. Good for you. That's awesome. You definitely won that one. Eddie Davis super chat. He goes, why after 5 weeks is this offense obsessed with the deep routes? The middle in every single week has been open. Take advantage of it. Bombs will come.
They love throwing. They love it. They love throwing deep.
They love throwing deep. They do. And I honestly, I remember with Doug Peterson days where we would go 3-4 games. We go 3-4 games without throwing over 20 yards. So I don't mind it either. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you're right about that. I just think that's the way Hurts is and what he sees.
Yeah, true.
As a thank you for his super chat, goes, I saw Rick's got some playing time. He did. Yep. He did. And thank you for super chat. Splenda says 500 Bradley Roby played great. Yeah, Roby, I thought he helped settle the secondary down. To be honest with you, I thought Roby played really, really good. Anthony Davis super chat goes, not Eagles related, but Joey Shakes, what do you dip? I'm a Grizzly winter green type of guy.
Skull Cherry. I mean, I like Grizzly. I mean, I would like to get it down south because it's a lot cheaper and it's a better quality. So I just don't live down south, unfortunately. So yeah.
Yep. Eagles Army down under. Thank you for the super chat, my man. He goes, Parsons is not LT. Disappears when it matters. The Eagles have put the book out on Parsons, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They really have.
Thought
And
the
teams
same
are
thing.
doing it now. Yeah. So, I mean, is there anything that we're missing that we haven't talked about?
Well,
what was good.
I thought the Rams punted really well. They got us inside the 10 a few times.
How come is it every week we play teams that punt 80 yards?
we get these great punters.
Tampa Bay punter, Washington.
Yeah.
Punter. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I was like
Covey did good though.
Yeah,
He did.
I was okay with Covey. Peaches and schemes. David Super Chat goes 5-0. Fly Eagles, Fly Cowboys still stink. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yeah, it was crazy. It was. I thought second half was the best football of the year.
Yeah,
all sides of the ball. And you could tell, like the Rams game, like the Eagles gave the Rams opportunity after opportunity. Like things went their way. Like there was a face mask that wasn't a face mask on 3rd and 26. That gives them a first down. We had turnovers where we're dropping interceptions, not recovering fumbles. I thought, interception with Jalen Hurts down there. Like, if the Eagles played 60 minutes, they would have blown this team out. They're so much more talented than any of these other teams.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, you went 3 series only scoring 6, 7, scoring a touchdown. So, I mean, they definitely have some things to clean up when it comes to like certain third downs where you're taking unnecessary shots. We don't we know they like taking shots downfield. There's certain times where they're just taking unnecessary shots on an early down where they could definitely waste more time. I mean, time of possession is where you win the football game, man. I mean, and they had time of possession. Second half, they had over 19 and a half minutes. I think the Rams only had 9 and a half.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where it counts the most. And the Eagles took advantage of it. So,
yep, I agree. Dalton W. Davis Super Chat goes, Kelsey was having issues with getting the O-line set. He usually has one of the guards watch Hurts and then tap him to snap the ball. After the delay of the game, he started watching between his legs. Yeah, that makes sense. And probably not having Opeta out there because I think it's usually the right guard that looks back. So it could have been a situation of that. Although I gotta say, I thought Sua Opeta played really well.
Awesome.
Right guard, I do.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, dude, can you imagine Aaron Donald, one of the greatest defensive tackles ever played? He's never had a sack on the Eagles.
I think what I found out today too, I don't think he's had a sack in like 3 games. I don't think he's had a sack the past few weeks. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he didn't do much tonight. Cheeseboy David Super Chat goes, talk about tonight's Sunday Night Massacre. Yeah, I'm saving that one a little bit, I'm still letting that one mellow. I'm making sure we get all the Eagle stuff out before we get into that because I don't want to miss anything, I thought the line, Jalen Hurts, offense, I thought the wide receivers, everything was pretty good. I thought Blankenship played good. I thought Blankenship had a quiet good game, and I thought Jordan Davis had a really good game.
He did.
I really do. Quiet, maybe sketchy, but the impact is definitely felt. You know what I mean?
But Jalen Carter is literally putting fear inside somebody's soul when he puts his hands on them. I'm not even kidding. Like
I know.
That hit was like I thought he was going to get a penalty because it's like he grabbed him and he kind of. I don't know if he through him or it was one movement where he just put him down. I don't even know.
It looked like a body slammed him to the next week. And just watching the close-up of Bradford as he's getting up in his eyes was like, oh, holy shit, that hurt. Like it was like this dude's strong. Like I think he was a little bit shocked. And his very next pass is a one-hop to the wide receiver, And that's what you want, Jeffrey, thank you for the super chat. He goes, I think tonight is the beginning of Hassan Reddick's sack machine. Once he get a taste of it, he can't eat just one. Reddick is streaky. Like, there are times in his past where he's like 0 sacks for a whole month, and then he gets like 7 or 8 in 1 month. That's the way he runs and rolls.
Yeah.
He's got 3 in the last 2 weeks. As an army of everything, David Super Chat, he goes, can we thank the teams that passed on Jalen Carter? He's going to be one of the best draft picks we've ever had. Oh, my gosh. Thank you. Thank you, Bears, because they traded out of number 1 when they decided not to take him. But they could have sat and took him at 9, and they traded it.
Even Seattle. I mean, Seattle didn't really have too many defensive tackles. They got rid of. I know they traded one in the offseason. I thought he was going to be gone top 6. I mean, it could have been.
Swift and Wes at Davis Super Chat goes, Philly had me rolling, and Mark's scream sounded like Beavis and Butthead in the background. All I was hearing was, yeah. I know. I just put it on, man, and just let them yell. Al Davis Super Chat goes, I have a video of A.J. Brown Smith chopping up at the game. When I rewatch it, Smith seemed a little upset, but was fine after. Well, Smith was frustrated. There was a point where, Smith isn't going to go and yell at people like the quarterback or anything like that, but he was pacing, and you could tell he was frustrated. And then Sirianni went and talked to him, and then they come out and then they tried to force feed him throws that just weren't there, and sometimes it's just not your day. But he's fine. I mean, Smitty is not that kind of guy.
It's in the moment. I got to think it's in the moment when all this happens. And like I said, it happens to every team when the cameras aren't on. It's always happening, like all the time. So by tomorrow, everything's going to be fine. It's just in that moment. So it is.
But he's not the kind of guy to go yell at Jalen Hurts and go all, you know what I mean? He's not really a prima donna like that. And remember 2 weeks ago, everybody wanted to trade A.J. Brown. What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
As in Davis Super Chat, he goes, best player in our secondary is Blankenship by far this year. The other safety concerns me, and so does some of the cornerback play. Best O-line 100%, though. Agreed. I mean, I think that's fair. Anthony Davis Super Chat goes, sup, guys, besides Buda Baker or Jeremy Chin, what is a priority at the trade deadline for Howie? You could really say, I think they're okay at linebacker. I think you could look at if there's a pass rusher that they felt that they could get, because they always look to improve that, especially in a rotation, and or maybe a wide receiver could be a sneaky pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think getting a hybrid player wouldn't be bad too. Another guy that could play multiple positions for your defense. I think that would have more value to the defense instead of getting a guy just at one position. If you get a defensive lineman, like how are they going to? Someone has to get moved or not play at all, and it's probably Derek Barnett because honestly, Nolan Smith needs to play, man. It's no joke now because we can't redshirt him this year. He has got to play this year.
Yeah, he's going to make his presence. No, mark my words. Nolan Smith will make his presence known in time. By the time this year is over, he will. Nathaniel Danvers Super Chat goes, defense is about timing, and Bert's timing is getting better each week. In 3 weeks, when the Cowgirls are in town, it's going to be ugly, like grandma's burnt turkey. I love it. Little narrow David Super Chat goes, Evans played fine at safety today. I would like it better nickel, but we traded for Rodgers, but he's on the suspension. We maybe get a safety and a backer. Yeah. I know Howie is going to do something. I know he is, just a matter of what,
True.
When. I just don't know. All right, so let's talk about a little about the NFC East here.
In general, okay.
The New York Giants, they get destroyed today, which nobody's surprised. I mean, they stink. Daniel Jones, he got hurt. He's out. And they got to play at Buffalo. So, I mean, they're pretty much done, right? They're 1-4, and they got to play Buffalo next Sunday night.
You know what's weird, though? Like, it's such a week-to-week league. Like, Miami beats on Denver for 70 points, and then they get killed by the Bills. And then they gave the Giants a couple like Miami didn't look great either, because I thought the Giants ran on them pretty damn good. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Miami doesn't even I don't know. Like they didn't look great.
I agree. I think the Eagles Miami game could be a shootout, but I think at the end of the day, I think the Eagles are going to be way better than Miami. Is the offense and defensive line. The Eagles are going to be in every game because of the lines on both sides of the ball. They just have, and then Giants lose, they stink. And then the Dallas game, my gosh, dude, they got destroyed. 42-10, a 40 burger. Remember how great they were with the Doomsday defense, 40-0. They 42 points. They scored 40 points on the Giants. All we heard about was the Dallas Cowboys, and they give up 40 burger to the Giants. dude, the 49ers destroyed that team. Dude, they destroyed them.
Yeah. You know what's the
You know?
difference, though? Like the 49ers in general, like their defense, man, they get to the like those linebackers, like Greenlaw, and like they
Warner's
Freddie
good.
Warner. Oh
Yeah.
God, they get to the fucking ball. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. The Dallas, and the thing, like I know Mark was making excuses about Dak Prescott, but the thing is, Dak Prescott's just not one of those quarterbacks. He's not going to pick your team up. He's not going to carry them on the back. Everything has to go right for Dak Prescott. Otherwise, he's just another guy.
Yeah, he can't have 100. He can't have 156 yards. Like you can't get away in games. Like your defense. Like the reason why Dak has 156 yards, or he has like 100 something yards, like $120, $130, $140, whatever, is because the defense is doing a lot of the work, and they're getting turnovers, and they're putting the offense in good field position on short yardage. So it's not going to happen like that every single game. So it's just, I think they're missing Kellen Moore just a little bit.
Maybe they don't want to hear that though. But I also think they don't know how to use guys like Brandon Cooks. Like, why using him in end arounds and little play? Like, you need to use him as a deep threat. I think the Cowboys, I think they're overrated. Thank you for super take. 49ers look tough. Dolphins too worried. Yeah, I think why Dallas Cowboys lose. I think the Niners. I mean, look, Brock Purdy looked good tonight. He did.
Great.
But the Dallas Cowboys couldn't get a pass rush. They got no pressure. Purdy was upright the whole game. The 49ers and the Eagles are the best two teams in this conference, and it's not close. And the reason why I think they are is because both of them have good offensive lines and good defensive lines. They're both lines on both teams are for real. And that game in Philly in December is probably going to decide home field advantage. But both of those teams are really, I mean, you got to give the Niners credit. They got a good offensive line. They got a good defensive line. And it's going to come down to the play, because I think that's where these games are won. Dallas defensive line, offensive line can't compete with the Eagles, and it can't compete with the Niners. That's why I think those two teams are the best team in the conference, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Philly, it's our lines that really separate us from the rest of the league. Eagles control the ball line scrimmage. Yeah, line scrimmage, both sides of the ball. Agreed. And even when we don't play good, because our lines are so dominant, we're in every game, And listen, the 49ers too, So it's going to come down. These games will come down is who's going to control the line of scrimmage when these teams play, because I really don't think Purdy's going to sit back there and have the time he had versus Dallas, and vice versa. So it's going to be a heavyweight bout.
Look at today. Well, look at today's game. They had like there was about 3 occasions, so they get good protection. But there was occasions where Hurts had like almost 6 seconds of protection. Like you don't get that a lot of teams.
No. There was a play he sat all day and he was able to go deep to Brown. I mean, it's unbelievable. That's why those two teams are better than everybody in the NFC. And that's what the Cowboy fans are always building up. They're great offensive line, great defense, but it's not that good. It's not as good as the other two teams. So I look at it and I see heavyweight bout coming in December. That Niner Eagles game, you're probably going to have. It's probably going to decide the bye week.
It's true, probably.
Todd says until Jalen Carter puts the fear of God in Purdy as he breaks through. Well, yeah, that might happen. Listen, that's what happened with Reddick. I mean, Reddick knocked Purdy out of the game, and I think he could do that again. Barron says Stoutland is the GOAT. He is. Marco says, are you worried about Devontae Smith only had 1 reception? I am not worried about it.
No, not at all.
I just think there's not that many balls to go around today,
Pause.
Yeah. But I'm not too worried about it. No. He had 7 catches the week before. So he was great. I mean, look at the play he made. Look at the catch he made versus Washington last week.
Same as last year. It's like this. Yeah, that's crazy.
It just AJ Brown is really hot right now, and that's where the Eagles went. And Devontae's going to have games where he has 10 catches, and Brown's going to have 4 catches. the way it works out, I'm definitely not worried about it. Colton B wants to know Simmons or Chin. I go Chin. Chin's
I
younger.
would go Chin. Yeah.
But I do think the Eagles are going to do something. Splenda 64 says Zach Wilson is going to die. He better not tear us up next week.
Dude, I know Breece Hall's good. I don't know how good that offensive line is, but Zach Wilson cannot put numbers on us.
I don't think they're that great.
Okay.
And I'm not worried. Nobody has run against us all year. I'm not worried about them running against us. I think their defense will keep them in it for a while, but they have never beaten us in their history. They're not going to start now.
No, not with that quarterback.
We will get to this game versus Miami 6-0. I really believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jets line is bad. Agreed. Do not take this lightly. Decide. No, you shouldn't take any game lightly. The idea is to stack up as many wins as you can. Eagles are finding ways to win. 49ers have an easy schedule. I don't think they are good like the media makes them out to be.
Let me see.
Well, I think the Niners. I think the Niners have a good offensive and good defensive line, so it's going to make them competitive. I think the Eagles will beat them because I think the Eagles are playing home in December, but we'll see. Josh says, Philly, did you see what Jalen Carter said about finding out their snap count because Eagle fans were so loud they had to go silent count? I didn't, but that's pretty smart. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I mean, let's see here. So like the 5 games they played, they beat Denver, they beat Pittsburgh 30-7, they beat the Rams 30-23, they beat the Giants 30-12, they beat Arizona 35-16, and they just beat Dallas 42-10. So
yeah, they haven't played anybody. I mean, the Rams is probably the best team going into the game that they played because of their division. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Thing is they got to come to Philly, and they got to play Philly in December. That's not an easy place. Philly, Joey, did you see what the schedule is for Commanders and Dallas? I have not. No. I know Dallas is playing. I think they're playing the Chargers. That game could go either way. Chargers are a team also that seem to always not show up.
Atlanta and the Commanders have Atlanta. They have Atlanta, the Giants, and us.
I mean, well, they'll beat the Giants. They might lose to Atlanta. I mean, after losing to Chicago, you don't know. Cheese Boy, thank you for Super Chat. Goes the first pick on the deep ball Dak threw was the worst of his career. Ball was nowhere near Cooks. He should have been benched. It was horrible.
I feel like every time the Cowboys are down by multiple scores, they always throw that one up. He's trying to get back into the game. He doesn't. They do that. They just throw that ball down the field like that. I feel like they do that all the time. They take a shot when they feel like they need to get points on the board, and they get panicky. And I feel like that always turns into turnovers, and then it gets into Dak's head, and then it just happened 2 more times. It's nuts.
I also think that their running game isn't that great. Like I don't think Pollard looks that great.
No.
And if you can't run the ball like they did a few years ago, they're in trouble. I really think so.
Missing Zeke for definitely sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Joe says San Francisco is definitely a very good team, but until they beat us in the playoffs, take the NFC crown. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of them either. I think the Eagles match up well because I think the Eagles have the line to go up against their line. And I think that's going to be what matters the most. I think that's going to be the key. And I also think that the Eagles are playing them at home, which is a big deal.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. But, I mean, that would be crazy. Can you imagine if both teams were undefeated going in that game? That would be
the ratings on that would be great.
That would be awesome. Not only did we shut the Rams the second half, but the Rams didn't have a single snap the whole second half in Eagles territory. Yeah.
Damn.
Defense played great in the second half. I really give the side props on making the proper adjustments. Splenda says Dean is coming back. Let's go. Yeah, we get Dean back this week. That's right.
Is that a good thing?
I think so. I mean, even if he's coming off the bench.
Well, I'm saying as a starter. Like, what if they start him? How would you feel?
I wouldn't start him. I think Morrow's playing good. I would keep him.
Right.
Yo, bro, Steak says, are you going to the Jets versus Eagles, Joey?
No, not this year. Yeah, I mean, I live literally like a half hour away from MetLife. I'm really close. So, but
Yeah.
nah, probably not this year. No.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about? We're almost an hour in. I want to cut this as soon as possible because I still gotta go do a cigar video. I know the wife probably wants to get in here and go to sleep. So, if there's anything else, man, you thinking you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I just other than like the everything that happened, what the issues are. I think red zone is the biggest one, really. I mean,
Yeah.
and just shoring up that these corners a little bit, and I hopefully now have some consistency at nickel, and hopefully they have that Roby gets they're more settled with Roby now. They don't have to keep switching guys and rotating guys and going crazy. So, and you're getting some reinforcements back next week, so you'll have Sidney Brown back. Hopefully, you'll have Fletcher Cox back, which is good. So get guys healthy and back. So I think some of these guys need to rest up, and I think we'll be ready to go next week. So
yeah, I think so too. I think so too. 500. I think if we beat Miami, I think the only game we need to worry about is the KC game, 14-3. I agree. I agree. And you know what I like about the Eagles over Dolphins? I think they got better offensive defensive lines. Dolphins got big play capability, but I think the Eagles can still win with their line.
It's true.
I think they're beatable, but I do think it could be a very high-scoring game. But I hope that I hope that what we saw in the second half with Desai, I hope they continue to do that because it works, and it will continue to work. I think especially next week with Zach Wilson, you shouldn't give respect to Zach Wilson to make certain throws down the field.
Better
not at all. If you want to go back and play a little bit 7-8 yards off of Tyreek Hill, I kind of get that.
Other than Daniel Jones, is he the worst quarterback on our schedule? Is Zach Wilson the worst quarterback on our schedule? Really?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it for tonight. We still got 1,000 people in the chat. If you haven't, click the link in the description. Go support my man Joe Shakes if you're on my channel. And I want to thank everybody. I am going to go do a cigar video. I know you've got some videos to go to.
Yeah,
right?
I got some stuff. Yeah.
But I want to thank you guys so much. We are 5-0, 2 full games ahead of the Cowboys. And I think we're in a really good position. I think things are going really good and headed in the right direction. That's the most important thing, I would definitely say.
Yeah, we're stacking these wins. We're winning the games we're supposed to win right now, and we said this before the season started. And we should be at what? When's the Miami set? Was that 7th game? Was it the 7th game?
That's week 6, week 7. Yeah, 7th.
Week 7. Yeah, we should be 6-0 going to that game.
Yeah,
no doubt.
6-0 going to that game, and which is huge. Hopefully, Dallas will take another loss this week, put us 3 full games ahead. That would be great. But it's going to be awesome. We love you guys. We thank you so much.
Thank you.
And with that, we are out of here. Peace.
Take
care.
Peace out.
Enough time for one more play. We had one more.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. We have enough time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What are you doing?
running from
What are you doing?
to get off the field on 3rd down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had enough time for one more play.
Had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
only Cowboys games.
Yeah, you
The
literally.
brother screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way.
We had one.